What's going on, guys? It's Colin, and happy Wednesday. I am in the process of kind of exploring a new tuning, and I want to take some songs that I already know and transcribe them, if you will, in that tuning and learn to play them. And that is open G, but it's an open G tuning with a twist. And I learned this from a gentleman, a scholar, a monster musical talent by the name of Chris Colpaw. And he showed this to me after one of his gigs here in Fredericton. And I'll leave a link below for you to check out some of Chris's music. He is unbelievable. And, I've met him several times. And he's one of those folks, like he played guitar for a francophone artist by the name of Rock Voisin, which means that he's played at like the Sochi Olympics and stuff. He's played on some massive stages. And when you meet him, you figure he's from Eastern Canada, he's going to be cool, but he winds up just being so much nicer, so much cooler, gracious, and giving of his time than you ever could have hoped or expected. He's a wonderful human, as is his wife Lynn, who plays bass with him. So definitely check him out. So he showed me this tuning, and the way he does it, he actually plays in open F, but I don't have bridge cables to put on my guitar to get that kind of tension. So we're in open G, and so that's just 5 strings we're looking at. So the 5th string is tuned to a G, 4th string a D, 3rd string a G, 2nd string a B, and then the 1st string tuned down to a D. And usually in open G tuning, this string would be tuned to a D. And in this tuning, it's tuned down to a C. So usually, if you strummed all the strings in open G, it would sound like this. You'd be over the 5th. In this tuning, the way we have it, it's a C, which doesn't actually work for you to really strum all the strings. However, in much of rock and roll and blues and other types of music, pop, whatever, you name it, an important chord is often the 4 chord. So a blues is a 1-4-5. So that'd be your 1, your 4. And in open tuning, what I'm doing to play these chords is I'm just taking one finger and barring it all the way across those 5 strings. So that's a G major. Well, up 5 frets, that's the 4 chord, that's C major. And up another 2 frets on the 7th, that's D major. Which is why it's, preferable to a lot of people to play slide guitar in open tuning. So you can just slide move the slide around, you have chords. Anyway, we're not going to play any slide today. I just want to go through a couple of cool things about this tuning. And so another thing that if you're familiar at all with open G tuning, you'll know already, but I'm going to show you, is that you can kind of do these cool embellishments. Sounds, very Keith Richardsy, right? And you can play, when you're in G, you can use your middle and your index finger piece. And that is putting the middle finger down in the 2nd fret on the 2nd fret, however you want to phrase that. Phrasing. I love Archer, by the way. In the 2nd fret of the 4th string, D string. And the index finger is on the 1st fret of the B string. And you can hammer that on and pull off. Well, you can do the same thing, like if you're barring across all the strings, you can use your ring finger and your middle finger. I'm a child. Anyway, you can put that down, basically 2 frets up and 1 fret up, the same as they were relative to the nut in G. Anyway, so you can do that in open G. I don't do very much of that, but the cool thing is that your 4 chord is a C, and that also gives you that C down in the bass. And it sounds even cooler when you just do that embellishment in G and include the C, which is a thing of beauty. And you throw that into a tune with that low growling C, it makes it sound pretty heavy. So open G is often kind of bright and, played a lot in like country music and some of that, the rock and roll, like the Stones. But when you throw this string in there, then that gets it gets filthy, especially if you're playing electric guitar with some gain on it. So I'm playing around a lot with this, and in this tuning, you need some tools in order to be able to play some songs. I don't want to just play nothing but major chords. To make one of these bar chords a minor chord, so that's the root, the fifth, the root. There's the third, that's happy. That's your happy major third. So you have to drop that third down, and you're still going to play the rest of the bar chord. And I don't know the best way to do this. I've found that the best way for me is to use my ring finger and to kind of bar these three strings, but my knuckles bendy, and I'm able to lift it up so that string's clear, and then I'm fretting the fret behind it basically with my index. So. And that'll probably work for me until I give myself some case of arthritis in this finger, but for now, that's what I'm doing. If any of you are good in open G or these open chords and you have a better way to fret that, let me know. So we're going to need some tools, and so G major. Well, we're going to want a C, and we know where that is. We figured that out. And you're going to want a D major. And something to note is that strings 4, 3, and 2, 2, 3, 4, they're tuned exactly the same as a standard tune guitar. So the D chord can start fingered the same way with open D string, and then 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, and then if you just do your normal D major shape, it's a suspended chord because this first string is dropped down by a tone. So that gives you like a sus2, that's an E. So we need a D there. So that would be, sorry, we're going to play the major third here. So we need an F sharp. And so that's the 4th fret. So you kind of have to stretch it out like that. You drop it down a fret, so it would be 2, 3, 3 for a D minor, suspended, and then this would just be a D power chord because that is D and A and D, D. So in a pinch, you can play that for a D, and it'll work as a major or a minor because there's no third. So we're going to want G, we're going to want an A minor, and so I could do kind of that for A minor and B minor, but just by accident I was playing around and I fretted the 2nd fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret of the 4th. I left the 3rd string open, and then the 1st fret of the B string, and so that gives a nice sort of suspended chord with a D in there, which is the 4th, and we have the minor 3rd and the minor 7. And when you slide it up, it also works in the B position. So we're working with G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, and I'm fretting it here. I want to give it the bass, the deeper bass note. You just want to play the 6th string, not the 5th. So I kind of hook my thumb around and mute the 5th string. And we're going to want an E minor. And just perchance, like obviously you can play the E minor up here, but to have something to grab hold of down in the, the open position, I just fretted the 4th fret of strings 6, 5, and 4, and then left that open, and you can do that all with one finger. And that sounds okay for an E minor. Goes back to a C. So those are the grips, and I also if you just bar starting at the 6th string, it kind of gives you this cool sus2 power chord. Root 5. So that'd be a major, but there's like this sus2 power chord. So it's kind of grungy, which I like. And so, F major is not in the key, not in the chord scale of G major, but that's one that I throw in there sometimes just to kind of pull the ear away. And so if I wanted to play a cool F chord, I just bar here. Back to a C. So one of the things that I was looking to do was apply this to one of my songs, and so I have a song called Harmony, and it's actually transposed up a half step in the studio version. I did play some slide guitar on it in the studio, but I was just looking at taking the chords from that tune and playing them in this tuning instead of standard, and so I kind of got the D. It starts on a D minor. And that goes to a G major, which is just open. And then we actually have a B flat, actually, in the song. And then to a C, back to a G. So I wound up playing it like this. G, B, C. C, D, G, sorry. So that's most of the chords I need for the song right there. So I'll probably save that deep C. I did go deep sea fishing recently. I must have deep sea on the brain. Anyway, I'm going to save that low C for a special occasion probably. So play it like this. G, B flat, C, G, D, and then hit it there. So, we're getting there. And another song, I did have a friend request something that has an F in it, and I was able to play it in this key because it was a G chord and a C chord with an F. And that's it. It's a really great song, and it only has 3 chords. So G, C, and then the F suspended chord works really well for that song. So, basically the 3 chords are... So anyway, it's something I want to get proficient with. I think it's cool. Eventually we'll get into some slide stuff. I'm just getting familiar myself with playing a bit of slide. And, I just like to add some touches in on some chords and whatnot. I don't have much in the way of lead line chops on the slide. But, I'm kind of growing, and I share as I grow. And that's kind of what I've always done on this channel, regardless of what I've been doing. So I learn, I share, and I'm just trying to increase my vocabulary, increase my skill set. One thing that I've kind of noticed in learning after 40, and this has been true for a while, is that I'm not a sponge like I was when I was a kid. So there's a wealth of knowledge on the guitar that one could learn. And I have some friends that, they're younger guys, and they're absolute monster guitar players and complete guitar nerds. You know, they sit down and they break everything, and break everything down and learn everything in a bunch of different positions, and you know, they just learn it for the sake of learning it, and they have the time, and they learn it fast. What I try and do for myself is just learn as I go, learn new things as I need them, because I'm never going to be able to tackle the entire mountain that is, you know, the mountain of knowledge that is guitar playing. So, you know, I just try and add incrementally to what I'm doing to get a little bit better, you know, month over month, and add some new flavors just slowly. And because I'm also focused on writing songs and playing a lot of gigs, so I can't bite off a whole bunch and have the time to chew it and integrate that into what I'm doing. Like, it has to be sort of small steps. And I think that taking a new tuning, I play in standard tuning, I play in drop D tuning. I sometimes will drop the first string down to a D instead. Sometimes I drop the first and the sixth string down to a D. But those aren't too complicated. I mean, but they are an adjustment. And so I think the next step for me is a bit of open tuning with slide, and I'm gonna focus on this open G over a C, because there's just some cool things that you can do, and they're a little different, and I like things that are different. I've rambled on enough for today, folks. We're going to revisit this tuning again soon, probably next week. So I'm away playing a gig up in Perth Andover tomorrow evening at the Larley Creek Hullabaloo, and I'm back there on Friday at lunchtime playing another gig. So I got wound up having 2 short sets out of this whole emerging artist contest. So huge shout out to Larley Creek Hullabaloo for their support. That's amazing, and I'm thrilled. Friday video might be a challenge, or it might be like a quick and dirty one. So been doing all right so far. I put up a bonus moto vlog yesterday. Link will be in the description to that. And I'm going to sign off for now, guys. I got to get back to work. But it's been good talking to you. Leave a comment down below. If you're coming over to this video from Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, which should turn on notifications. Facebook kind of sucks when it comes to sharing my material, or anyone's material really, on their business page or personal page, especially if it's a YouTube link. So eventually I'll get around to uploading these videos to Facebook, but that's not going to be for a bit. So yeah, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down. Let me know what I can do better. Or, you know, you can just frig off and unsubscribe, because this is what it's going to be. I can't afford a better camera yet, and basically my life is my family, my music, and my motorcycle. That's pretty much all I have time for these days. So I do work too. You know, I find 37.5 hours of my week to work for now. Somebody asked if I plan to make music my living, and we're going to get into that in a video real soon. So I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger, guys. Cheers. We'll talk soon. Bonus footage. I was playing around after I turned the camera off and started just, like, I laid my finger on the 12th fret and was going between the C and the G, and I liked it. Anyway, when you play around with different new things, then cool shit can happen, guys. Have a great day. Oh, for those wondering, I'm playing the blue Tortex T3 pick by Jim Dunlop. Not sponsored, just an awesome pick. Not sponsored by anybody.